Good morning, y'all. Uh, the pandemic is still going on. It is 2021 now. Um, it's like 8 in the morning. It's 9 degrees Fahrenheit outside, snow on the ground. So I'm more inclined to stay inside. um, Shaved my head yesterday, finally. Eating a waffle with honey, because it was all out of maple syrup. And yeah, not really sure what else to say. This thing is still happening. So that sucks. So at this point, I genuinely thought things would be over with. I did not think that this pandemic would last an entire year. That's a lot. My camera doesn't want to sit still. Hold on. But yeah, it's just been crazy. I recorded multiple videos at the beginning of the pandemic wanting to talk about what's going on in a gentle way, but I just didn't really know what to say or how to address anything. And I was like having all these different crazy emotions because not only was all of this crazy shit going on, but I had all this gnarly shit going on in my personal life. So I was like all over the place. Um, check out these clips. So, all this coronavirus craziness, I almost didn't really want to address on here just because I feel like it's such a big issue. It's a big topic of discussion. I didn't want to start any arguments or get too controversial or whatever, which is odd because I typically enjoy going that route. Mainly, I just wasn't really sure how I could contribute by saying anything about it. It's getting crazy. I mean, obviously, everybody got freaked out and went and bought all the toilet paper out of all the stores, and that happened, and that was an issue. And as well as some other stuff, like people buying up all the formula so people didn't have any food to feed their babies, and all sorts of unnecessary just issues that why. But beyond all the craziness, it has become a big thing. I mean, obviously in Italy and in China and whatnot, it's been a big thing for a little while now. And the United States here, they're just finally like shutting down states, and it's crazy. I've never been alive for anything this intense here, and it's not even that intense, but it's like half the time I'm like forgetting about it, and the other half of the time I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. So I wanted to talk about just how this whole COVID-19 thing affects polyamory. When we go through something this intense, nationally, globally, it really shows the differences in how people think about things. And, people you thought that you were compatible with, you realize that, you're not compatible with at all because, either they are really disrespectful of your needs or boundaries or, your health, or they can't handle the stress and they just go kind of crazy and put that all on you, which is what I'm dealing with an ex-partner. So it shouldn't even be something I'm dealing with, but some people just get a little, worked up, overly worked up about things, and they go into like chaotic panic mode, and makes it difficult to deal with them. A lot about polyamory is being able to, go out and make connections with people, and that becomes very limited when you're not allowed to go out and interact with anybody. And for those people who are solo polyamorous or who just don't have partners or whatever, trying to go out and see other people isn't necessarily an option. And it can affect the relationships you already have. It can affect, the things that you thought you wanted or needed. But yeah, this has been a crazy time for me. I've realized that although I am solo polyamorous and I prefer solitude for the most part, and I like to have my independence, and my autonomy is really important to me, and my self-care and my self-love, and me and my kids, that's what's important to me. I've also realized just through this isolation how important it is to me to have somebody else there also that I can lean on, when I need to. Just having another adult there. And a romantic partner in particular in these kinds of situations where you're unable to go out and just be around other people, and you have to just keep it close-knit with your household. It's different. It's different than choosing to be by yourself. I want to have somebody else here with me too. And I have conflicting opinions about that, because I also don't want somebody to invade my space or, change things into a way that, I know that I don't want. It's been a long road, and it's been a difficult one to get to where I am right now, where I feel comfortable and confident, and and where I'm enjoying being just me and just taking care of my kids. But it's nice having somebody to come home to, or who comes home to you, or just to see. It's nice, and it's something that I have been missing since all of this craziness has started. So, other things in life, and then exacerbated by this whole coronavirus thing, has pushed me to feeling like I might want to get back into a monogamous relationship. I kind of feel like that's what I want to do. And that's scary. So I'm not 100% on that. But I feel like that's what I want to do. My ability to connect with other people doesn't necessarily match up with my needs for what I am wanting, what I'm needing, what, my life, where I'm wanting it to go. And I've been trying to deal with that. It's difficult. Maybe I'll try a monogamous relationship on for a little while again, and that won't be my thing, and I'll move back into dating more people, or dating no one. Sometimes people just suck, and they're not worth it. To me, regardless of if I am dating one person or many people, I will always be polyamorous. In my heart, in my soul, in my mind, like that. It's just part of who I am. Regardless of who I am dating, who I love, who I am sleeping with, which those things are none of your business anyway. But regardless of all of those facts, I am polyamorous. That's who I am. And nothing's gonna change that. Hi, y'all. Okay. I don't have a whole lot to say. Mainly, I I wanted to post a video just to talk about all the shit that's going on in the world right now, because I feel like it's really heavy. And I feel like a lot of you are probably dealing with the same feeling where you're like, this is really heavy. And I mean, to be honest, the coronavirus pandemic has not affected me that much because I'm kind of lame and I hang out in my house a lot anyway, and I just hang out with my kids and I do my own thing. I'm pretty introverted. But the reality of it, nonetheless, is still impacting me mentally and physically in like weird ways, like, you know, going to the grocery store and everyone avoids you like you're the fucking plague. Or like, you know, just going outside and there's just not a whole lot of people out. And it's weird. And I mean, sometimes it's nice and it's calm and it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know why the world isn't like this more often. But it's strange. It's different. And I feel like that deserves discussion. I know that a lot of people out there are being really affected by this, whether physically they're getting sick or just emotionally. You know, the separation, the social distancing can be really hard on people. And the thing with polyamory is that it's a whole other thing. You know, it's not just, you know, you have your one partner that you live with, or you have one partner and you can't see them or whatever. You know, it's the whole aspect of having multiple people involved where, you know, it's tricky. You know, who is it safe to see, who is it not safe to see, who's taking this seriously. You know, I know from reading through some of the people on our groups, on our Facebook groups, that some people, this pandemic is causing relationships to end because they're realizing that other people don't care as much about their health as they'd like them to. You know, people who are immunocompromised, you know, have partners who live with them and who are still going out and dating other people and, you know, going and doing things and coming back home to them, and they're really worried about, you know, getting sick from their partners coming back with germs from, you know, from out around everybody else, and their partners aren't taking that seriously and aren't taking on that responsibility. And, you know, and lots of other shit. I mean, shit's getting crazy. But it's really putting things into perspective, you know, in relationships, in life. You know, everything's, at the same time, everything is slowed down and gotten more chaotic, which is a really weird, excuse me. It's an oxymoron is the word I was looking for. I literally tried to look it up and I couldn't think of anything besides hypocritical, and that was not it. But I couldn't think of anything closer, so I had to call my mom and ask. It's an oxymoron. This coronavirus pandemic is an oxymoron. Because it's both things. It doesn't make sense. It's craziness. Hi. So I have tried to record this video multiple times already. And I'm at a loss for what to say. I don't know what you guys need. I don't know how to make this shitty situation better. And I mean, honestly, like, I mean, I've had so much time, but at the same time I feel like just exhausted from nothingness, and I haven't been getting a whole lot done. It is pouring rain outside, And let's see, what have I been doing with myself during quarantine? I've been spending time with my kids, trying to do projects with them, trying not to pull my hair out. I mean, they're home with me normally anyway, but we're normally able to get out and go do things. My kids are both super social, so this has been like shitty because they're just talking at me nonstop. But I don't know. I mean, we've been getting out and exercising, going, walking around in nature and stuff like that. So, I mean, in a way, it's been really nice and calming that everything is slowed down and I've been able to like breathe, And I've been organizing all the rooms in my house and throwing tons of stuff out. And I mean, it's been nice. I've been able to kind of like purge all the shit that I don't want and like recreate my life and myself through this time. So it's been pretty beneficial for me, honestly. Trying to get internet set up at my house because I didn't have it. I haven't had internet for like the last 4 years, but not being able to go to the library or other people's houses or coffee shops or whatever, to get my shit posted and, work on everything has kind of pushed me. So, up until this point, I had so many passionate things to talk about, and lately I've just kind of been like riding this calm, mellow wave and been digging it. So it's been nice to just kind of relax and not push myself so hard. Because normally I got so much shit going on. So I hope everybody else is relaxing as much as possible and getting through this. The world is a-changin'. Everything is so different in this moment. It's weirding me out, but kind of in a good way. I commend everybody, for just dealing with life right now and going through it, because it's tough. For a while it was nice, honestly. Everybody giving me space and just being able to relax and kind of figure my own shit out and slow down. And then I started kind of freaking out, feeling restless, wanting to just get back into society and see people and hang out and do things and take the kids to, fun family events. But nothing's happening still. I mean, there's more, but there's still not a lot going on. I mean, the biggest issue that I was having was my friend was in jail. And this is somebody that I love a lot, love really deeply. And I mean, they were supposed to be out sooner. They were supposed to have a court date sooner, and it got pushed back because of all of this pandemic stuff. So they were in there longer than they should have been, and they just finally got out. And that was great. I got to see them. But the shitty part is that not last night, the night before last night, they went into a coma. And they got taken to the hospital. And I didn't even find out until they ended up waking back up. So they're awake. That's good. He's alive. But, I'm not able to go see him because they're trying to keep everybody out of the hospital unless you need to be in there. And we've been fine because, he was supposed to be out this morning. But now he's got pneumonia, so they're keeping him at least another 24 hours. And I still can't go in and see him. And that's really hard for me. if you want to know the biggest impact that this whole pandemic has had on me, that's probably it. Not being able to be there for people that I care about. Because, because society is scared and trying to keep everybody safe. And I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it. To everybody out there who has loved ones who are sick or who have died and who are sick with anything, anybody that's in a hospital, whether it's pandemic related or not, I feel for you. My love and support goes out to everybody. I mean, really, not much has changed for me. I mean, besides the fact that the kids can't just go, play at the park with everybody. Although right now it's cold, nobody's out there anyway. But, I mean, not much is different. I homeschool my kids anyway, so I didn't have to take them out and homeschool them. That wasn't a big change. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. We still go out on nature walks all the time. I live in a small town, so we've been able, I mean, we had a short period where things were shut down, but it didn't last very long. And I mean, I don't know. We've been pretty privileged in this area to be able to, go get food from wherever. I mean, a lot of people dine out here, which I haven't been doing. I normally just get takeout. But that doesn't really have to do with the pandemic. That just has to do with the fact that I don't like being around people. People suck. So I tend to like eating elsewhere. Like at my house. But yeah, not much has changed for me. I still see friends occasionally. We used to go, take our kids on walks together out, in nature so everybody could run around, be spaced out. The kids still go to the YMCA classes now, although the kids have to wear masks and everybody's supposed to be separated. But it's all fairly similar to what we had going on before. A little more isolating, but fairly similar. So here are some other videos from other people who are talking about some things that have been difficult for them.
My name is Carrie, and I am solo polyamorous, and I am living on my own for the first time at the age of 47 since September of last year. Since shelter in place started in March, it has been very difficult for me to isolate in solitude. I haven't been able to see my partners very much. I've seen a couple of them in the past couple of months, but very briefly. It's very lonely, and it's very hard work to keep from letting it overcome my health. I'm trying to be aware of that and get outside and get into some sunshine and make sure I get some fresh air when I start to feel not well. But it's been very difficult, and I pray for people who are in isolation alone.
So obviously this time right now is difficult for everyone. My partner lives 3 hours away, so we haven't been able to see each other, but we've been video chatting every night, which I find really has kind of strengthened our relationship because we didn't do that before the pandemic. And the first week of the pandemic, I ended up breaking up with one of my other partners because it was too difficult. So it's interesting to see the variety of how people are handling this. But I think all of it ends up being about communication, which I guess is polyamory in general. And For me, I've never been good at dating apps, so even though I'm on them right now, I find it really difficult to talk to people because it's like, well, when are we going to meet up? We don't know. So even though that's like open and I kind of like ended up sort of dating, I don't know if it's dating anymore during a pandemic, but talking to someone for a couple weeks and it just kind of petered out. I just also do much better in person when I talk to people, so I'm looking forward to the first time when I can be out and meeting people that way. But I'm not in a bad place. At least, like as I said, it's kind of almost strengthened my relationship with my one partner. And yeah, I mean, I'm open to strong connections, really. So I feel like when I get out, there's going to be a lot of that, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So that's how I'm managing.
Hi, my name's Leanne and I'm 21. I currently have one boyfriend who I've been dating for about 1.5 years, and both of us have casual, kind of friends with benefits relationships with other people. The impact of coronavirus has been both good and bad. So, on the one hand, my boyfriend moved in with me for lockdown, and over the past 2-3 months, we've gotten to know each other on a really, really deep level, and that's been absolutely amazing. But on the other hand, both of us were kind of hoping to escalate one or two of our casual connections, and coronavirus basically ruined all of that. I wasn't really that close to any of the people I was seeing before the lockdown, so when it happened, I mean, there wasn't a huge incentive to like stay in touch and intensify the connection. Like there was a bit of back and forth, but like everyone was just withdrawing into their own shells, and the chats like kind of just turned into just sending memes to each other, and they basically just got a bit stagnant. And my boyfriend was on Tinder for a while, but all of his matches basically evaporated. And I think he's still talking to one person, but they just send memes to each other, and it's like nothing much beyond that. Neither of us are really interested in forming new connections, so we're just waiting it out until we can see people in person again. And so, functionally speaking, we've been pretty monogamous, like since the lockdown started. Uh, I mean, I guess this isn't affecting us too much, but I knew that if this were going on for a much longer time, I might start feeling a little bit stifled. Um, this pandemic has made me realize how crucial physical touch and affection are to me. Like, okay, I know that polyamory isn't all about the sex for a lot of people, but to me, I mean, it's a huge part of why polyamory is so attractive to me. I mean, it's integral, like sex and cuddling and just physical affection generally. It's just so important to me for forming intimate connections with people. And I've never been that good at long distance relationships, so I'm really grateful that my boyfriend decided to move in with me. And I think we also did it at the right time. I know that like a lot of my friends have ended things with their partners because like either they moved in together and they couldn't stand each other, or they were like apart and they had different texting habits, and so they couldn't figure out a way to stay in touch and like give each other the right amount of attention, and it just got a bit messy. So I guess as for the future, I mean, once the lockdown is over and it's safe to meet people again, I mean, the first thing I want to do is see all of my lovers and just spend time with them. Maybe I'll throw a big party for everyone to attend if it's safe. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm hopeful, even when it's hard, and I know that the end is in sight.
Ciao. Ciao. Ciao.